Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to this edition of SportsView on nearmedia.tv. And it's the 31st of March, so everybody knows what tomorrow is. I would suggest you stay in bed all day tomorrow until midnight. Anyway.
We should have been doing that since the election.
yeah. There's a big announcement in America coming up on Wednesday, but this is not a program to discuss that in anyway, you know.
Right.
But anyway, on the show tonight we'll be looking at soccer, rugby, golf, tennis, boxing, and a few more bits and pieces whatever may come up, you know. And over the weekend, lads, we had the FA Cup quarterfinals, and you had Crystal Palace beating Fulham very impressively 3-0, and Forest beat Preston North End, who put up a good fight, you know, in penalty shootout. Penalty shootout, I think it was, isn't it?
Yeah, Forest won in a shootout.
They did, yeah. Man City, of course, beat Bournemouth 2-1. And, of course, Preston North End, I was reading about them. They started off as a cricket club. When they started off as a cricket club. And then they moved to the north end of the town they're in, and hence the North End was put on their football club. But they have a unique record. I was reading about them. The year they won the first division title in 1896 or something like that. They went through that year unbeaten in winning the league. And also, they won the cup that year, the FA Cup. And they went through that competition without conceding a goal. I just thought to the cricket, you know, on that side, you know. But they have, of course, the famous soccer player, didn't he play with Preston, Tom Finney?
Yeah, the Preston plumber.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. He played with Preston, and they have a good. But anyway, it's down to the same old. All the Premiership teams are in the semi-finals, rather, you know, 2 semi-finals. So it's, I suppose, Man City have only that. Well, they're still in the European Cup, but they're playing Crystal Palace, is it? In the semi-final.
City have got who's City? Palace have
Palace are
City
playing
and Forest, don't they?
City and Forest and Palace and
Villa.
And Villa, Aston Villa, yeah. Aston Villa are quietly getting into the final stages of quite a few competitions under the radar, you know. They could win the European Cup, they could win the FA Cup. Also in the Championship, it's hotting up. There was wins for Luton Town, Burnley, Middlesbrough, Norwich, Portsmouth, Stoke, and Sunderland. Stoke City, of course, are out of the relegation worries now as a result of that win, you know. And that's good news for them. But the Championship is really, really hotting up now in the thing. Sheffield United are top with 83 points, and Leeds United, they got a draw 2-all. 81 points, Burnley 81 points, and Sunderland 72 points, Coventry 59, and then there's 3 teams on 57, West Brom, Middlesbrough, and Bristol City all on 57. So it's all very tight at the top, you know. Of course, the Premiership will be returning this week, lads, to all the people who missed it, and tomorrow night, the 1st of April, Arsenal are playing Fulham, and Wolves are playing West Ham, and Forest are playing Manchester United tomorrow night, Derwynne. You probably know that anyway, you know. Are you looking forward to that? They're playing at home, Derwynne.
Yeah, I am actually, because I think any game that United's got now is going to be a test all the way through to the end of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
And then they got the big match on Sunday, isn't it? They got the derby match on Sunday.
Yeah. And the Liverpool derby is on as well on Wednesday night. Liverpool and Everton are playing Everton Wednesday night, and Newcastle are playing Brentford, and Man City are playing Leicester City Wednesday night. And next Saturday, I see Saka is back with Arsenal, but Arsenal are out of everything now, are they?
Yeah,
I missed that, Pip.
Huh?
Yeah, they got knocked out of the Champions League, didn't they?
Yeah, they're not going to win the league. We know that, and they're not in the FA Cup either.
No.
So I don't know.
Are they still in the Champions League?
Oh, they are. I think they are. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they won the
They
the
are.
league.
They are.
They beat
They
the
are
Dutch.
7-9-9-3 or something. You know, in over the two legs. They beat them 7-1 away or 7-1 or something. Yeah. They're still in the Champions League, so they might win something. Yeah.
So who do they have? Who do they have in the Champions League? Who did they get?
Was it Bruges? Oh no, they were playing Club Bruges. Was their last 16
Yeah,
in the quarter. Is it Dortmund? Borussia Dortmund?
I
Not
think
too
it's
sure.
one of the Germans, isn't it?
Yes, Borussia Dortmund, I think. Or is it Bayern Munich? I don't know now. I'm not too sure. I have to look that up. Yeah, that'll be coming up now very soon for them as well. But they have a few players back down from injury, so I heard a bit of Arteta's. Who's a fan of Talk Sport? Do you listen to Talk Sport on the radio?
No, we don't get that over here.
I just
A
got
little
this.
bit, not as
Yeah,
much as I used to.
Well, you'll recognise all the characters on it. It's just a bit of a laugh. I thought it was very funny myself. I hope everybody else thinks it's funny.
He says, just seen former chess grandmaster Gary Kasparov in the cafe, Jeff. I asked him to pass the salt and pepper. It took him 26 minutes. It's genius. Oh, man, she's the best we've ever had. It's genius. You go. Our listeners, honestly, we had Paul earlier on, didn't we? You know, and now this is Gribbo from Charlton has just texted in. Sorry, this could take a while.
You're going to hurt yourself.
Oh, man, she's the best we've ever had.
Jeff's crying.
He says,
This better be funny.
He says, just seen former chess grandmaster Gary Kasparov in the cafe, Jeff. I asked him to pass the salt and pepper. It took him 26 minutes. Oh, Gribbo, what a star.
I thought that was very funny. I have it here on I have it saved on the dish satellite that I often listen to because there's some very good there's some very funny things in it. Jeff is a great broadcaster myself, you know. I think he's a very good broadcaster, you know. And he's very good. But, we have another funny I have another funny clip for later on from a soccer match in India. And it is good. Nothing against the Indians, Andy, but it's a good. I found it out. And we were saying at top of the program, Derwynne, before you.
Because they're renowned for football, aren't they?
before you came on, I was on the Joe. A footballer, well-known footballer here in Ireland, passed away over the weekend. He played across Shannon as well, but he played, mainly his career was in League of Ireland, and he got a few caps with the Republic as well. John Perrick from the great soccer team of the 1970s, the Cork Hibernians, who won all the domestic competitions. And it was really a great time for... it's really doing the FAI Cup, you know, where you had... it was a total knockout competition. There was no two legs ranting. You had an open draw. Your first game, you could be gone. Or your second game program, or have to pay tribute to Fairview Rangers, our local junior soccer team here in Limerick, who travel all the way to Dublin over the weekend, and they, in the semi-final of the FAI Junior Cup, and they won 2-0 above in Dublin to Lucan United, 2-0, a great result for them. They are the most successful junior winning cup team out of the whole lot. They've won it 9 times, the FAI Junior Cup. They've won it 9 times. And so they're the most successful team in Junior Cup. So they're heading for another final.
They've never lost the final, have they?
I was looking down through the things, the roll of honour. I didn't see them losing a final. Anytime they made the final, they won it. Yeah, I know what you're
That's
saying.
what I thought. Yeah.
In recent times, Pike Rovers, I was at one of their finals. They've lost 3 finals in recent times. That's Pike Rovers, you know, and they made the final, and it was, I suppose, it is not an easy competition to win. There's a huge entry into that competition every year, you know, and there's always so it's dominated by Dublin clubs when it started because they obviously had better facilities, more players, more things. But a team from Clare 3 years ago won it. Newmarket Celtic won the FAI Junior Cup, you know, which is a great testament to it. But that's local soccer. But we had
Isn't that the biggest? Isn't that the biggest cup competition in Europe?
It is, yeah. It is. Indeed, for clubs, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. No doubt about it, you know.
Yeah, there's more clubs. There's more clubs enter that than any other.
Is there an equivalent in England? I know we have the FAI Cup. Is there an equivalent for lower tier teams, Derwynne, in England in soccer in the cup? Is there an equivalent?
Yeah, I think it used to be called the Daft Trophy, didn't it?
Was that the FA Amateur
there is.
Cup?
Just for light teams, and they play the final at Wembley.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it used to. At one time, Joe, I think it was sponsored by Daft Trucks, and it was called the Daft Trophy. And now I think it's called after one of the FA guys, Rouse, is it?
Also Stanley Rouse.
One of the. Yeah, I think it's the Rouse Cup now.
Oh.
Yeah, they play the final at Wembley, and they always get. You know, they end up getting sort of like 10, 15,000 from 2 local amateur teams.
It's a fantastic day out for us, an amateur club, to play in Wembley. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a bit daft when you see it on TV sometimes because obviously the stands behind the goals aren't used.
Yeah.
And they only use one side of the steps and the other side of the steps. So there's only one side of the pitch got fans on.
All right. Oh, I see. Yeah.
I never quite understand when they do show it on TV sometimes why they just don't film from the opposite side. So they've always got crowds in the background sort of thing.
Yeah.
But they tend to film it like they would for a normal match. And, it pans round to the goalkeeper and Wembley's massive when it's empty, isn't it?
Oh, jeepers. I mean, I don't know, Joe, do you any names? John Herrick's famous team, we'll give a clip there now in a minute that passed away. Joe Rady, of course. I was in the army with Joe Rady, he was the goalkeeper. Dave Percussi, Frank Connolly, John Herrick, Noel O'Mahony, Michael Donovan, John Lawson, Sonny Sweeney, Carl Davenport, Mike Dennehy, Gus Eady, Tony Marsden from Doncaster Rovers they bought him from, Donny Wallace, Terry Young and Dave Reganton. They were all in the Cochlear Browning team, and here they are. I was at this match that I'm going to show the tip of, not because I was at it, when they played in the European Cup against Borussia Mönchengladbach. You had Gunter Netzer and Oli Honas and those. Oh my God! Oh, these were just you mean the way they played them actually.
And on his own is Bluka. 4 Cork Hibs to 1. That's so easy, really, isn't it? Bluka, the scorer. Hibs must, of course, come at them because with the away leg to this, there's no use being arrears gone away. And Marsden most unlucky. It can happen to the best of players. And he's onside, Heikes. A great ball by Netzer. Must be number 2, surely. It is number 2. A magnificent football pass by Netzer created that. Another run by Wimmer. Really, Hibs now have been overrun. Started so well, but the pressure is telling now. This is Heikes. Luca completely unmarked on the right-hand side of the penalty box. And here he is, and not a sinner near him. And it's 3-0. Netzer. And that's what football is about. This is Wimmer. What a great football pass. Wimmer. Heynckes sells the dummy, Lefebvre. deserved a goal. It's the finest goal we've seen in a long, long, long time. A really fantastic pass by Netzer. Luca. Hankus. It's classy football. Lefebvre. Oh, it's tremendous football.
Well, the only thing positive in my case that I can say about the match is I got a free ticket for it from my pal. But it was packed to the wire. You had Gunter, you had Netzer there, and Gunter Netzer, and you had that Horst Rubesch back in the midfield for Borussia Mönchengladbach.
And your Pike is up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you consider, even though your own team are getting a walloping, it's great to see soccer players of that caliber playing up live in person, because at that time we would never have got to see them live except for the European Cup, you know.
Right. Yeah.
That Vimmer was some player too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
They had a great team back then.
oh, they had just the cream of the crop, as they say. They're just superb. I mean, they were overwhelmed in the end, but nevertheless, I mean, it was a good match from the point of view of Borussia Mönchengladbach. But I mean, from the soccer point of view, it was a great match, because that's one thing when your local team is successful, like Vernon were. They were in the European Cup because they were champions, you know. And so at that time, you weren't in the European Cup except you were champion of your country,
Right.
you know. Right now you have to be the fifth best or the sixth, whatever they are. I don't know what they're doing with it now, but it's not the elite soccer teams are playing anymore in the European Cup, you know. And I think it's diminished somewhat myself, but I don't know what I mean. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you. I think that it was. I mean, I might be biased about it, but I thought it was much more entertaining when it was just the champions playing.
Yeah.
You know, it was.
Yeah.
And
it was a straight knockout competition.
right.
You know.
Right.
You,
And it made the other competitions that much more interesting, because, you know, you had the Cup Winners' Cup, obviously, that the FA Cup winners went into. But then you had the next three or four teams that played in the UEFA Cup. And that was a great competition, because you had, from England, you had the second, third and fourth place teams play.
Yeah.
In that, and then from Germany, and then from Spain, and from Italy, you had some great teams playing. So
Joe, would that have been called the Fairs Cup once upon a time?
Yeah.
The Fair City Cup or something. Yeah, the Fairs Cup. Yeah.
Actually, there was an all English final of it. Spurs and Wolves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah, Spurs beat Wolves in the final.
Did Villa win that once as well?
I don't think they
Who?
did. I think
Aston
Birmingham
Villa?
won it. I
I
think
don't know.
Birmingham won it
Right.
one time.
I remember the year Aston Villa won the League Cup. Andy Townsend was the captain
Right.
of that Villa team. There was a terrific team at that time. Anyway,
And they won the European Cup the year after.
Yeah.
Oh, not the League Cup, but
And on his own is Blucher. For Cork.
there. I hit the thing there. Sorry, lads, you woke you all up again, but that was. Now, sometimes we find clips of people, you know. We're not going to stag off Man United out tonight, Derwynne. You know, we had enough of that over the last couple of weeks, you know. But there was a match. There was a football match over in India, and this is the comment. I thought it was pretty good. You have to listen carefully now to this.
He is down. Let us have a closer look at instant replay. Not only just self-sacrifice on this play, but sacrificing future generations as well. Obviously going all out for his team, saving the ball right here, but also losing two on the play. putting his balls on the line. Let us have a moment of silence for this man's fallen brothers. As you see right here, he got to the ball and so did the goalpost. Not only taking one for the team, he took two. Talk about going balls out for a play.
If that was match of the day, they'd be apologising for bad language.
Oh dear me! I mean, God bless the commentator. He must have been cringing trying to make that, you know. But you can imagine, all right, you know. You know that's funny, you know.
Balls out.
One for
Oh dear me.
he took two for the team instead of one. But anyway, we are also the Women's Six Nations is on the second matches in, I don't generally see the matches over the weekend, but in the Women's Six Nations here, France beat Scotland 38-13 and England beat Wales 67-12. And Ireland beat Italy 59-12. So France, England, and Ireland are going well in that, you know. And Ireland are playing England next in the Six Nations. So it'll be a test of Ireland to see how much progress they've made in the women's game, you know, because they'll be meeting a professional team now in England. And England are one of the favourites already to win the next World Cup. They have some terrific players, the English team. Well, absolutely terrific. In the United Rugby Championship, URC, Munster beat Connacht 30-24, and Leinster beat Sharks away in South Africa 10 points to 7. Got to the door. I couldn't watch it on live, but I watched maybe 15 minutes of it. It was a poor match, and it was poor conditions to play on as well, and that's it. Ulster beat Stormers 38-34. So in the table, Munster moved up considerably in the table. Leinster are top with 62 points, and Glasgow are second at 54. The Bulls are fifth on 50 points. The Sharks are 45. Munster on 39. Ulster on 37. And Benetton on 36. And Edinburgh on 36. So that's it. There were 3 or 4 more games there. And of course, Ronan O'Gara, I'd say, is on his way out of France because La Rochelle lost again. So I think they've only won 4 or 5 games in the top 14. So they're not going well at all. So anyway, I don't know. He's rumored to be going to America or Japan. That's Ronan O'Gara, you know. I don't know what he's going to do himself, you know. But we'll see what he'll do. But that's the rugby. In the golf, in the Indian Open, that's the DP World Tour. Eugenie Lopez Carrera from Spain won the Indian Open on -4, and he won that. And on the ladies' tour, the Ford Open was held, and Hyo Jao Kim from Korea won that on 22 under. 69, 66, 67, and 64. So she won $500,000 for herself. And Leona Maguire was playing in that as well, but she was way down the field in -3, you know. But she qualified for the 4 rounds, and that's all I could say about her. But in the Houston Open, I was delighted to see Min Moon Lee winning, you know, from Australia, because his sister was runner-up in 4th place in that Ford Open. You know, they're brother and sister from Australia, the Lees. And he won the Houston Open at -20, 66, 64, 63, and 67. He won $1.7 million for his trouble. So, as I said, Gary Woodland was in runners-up at -19. And 69, 64, 66, and 62. Imagine shooting a 62 and not winning it, you know. It's
yeah, I mean, he tried to lose it on 16 then a little bit, didn't
he?
Dumped in water at 16.
Min Moon Lee had a 5-stroke.
Yeah.
And he hit water on the 16th, and he held his nerve on the 17th and 18th to Scheffler was on -19 as well, Scotty Scheffler, so he was there and thereabouts, In the Masters, I noticed there'll be 12 or 13 golfers on the Live Tour playing in the Masters. So that'll be interesting to watch out for. And in tennis in Miami, Novak Djokovic reached the final against Jakub Mensik from the Czech Republic. But he beat Djokovic 7-6, 7-6 in the Miami Open. So, I mean, he was half his age. He was 19. Djokovic is 37. So, I think that you're going to find it difficult to win another slam. In golf, I was reading 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be 5 players. So, would that be right? Have only won all the majors in their playing career. Would that be right?
As in the Grand Slam?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not many.
Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, Ben Hogan, and Gene Sarazen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5. So if McIlroy wins the Masters, he'd be in a very elite company.
Yeah, he would be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had to look back it over again. I thought there was more than 5, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't find any more.
I mean, think of Faldo. Faldo never won a US Open or a US PGA.
He won a couple of Masters, though.
And a couple of 3 Opens, was it? 2 or 3 Opens?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And when you look at back at golfers like Severiano Ballesteros, who was a sensational golfer in my mind. He was just such a natural player, And he didn't win the Slam either,
No, he only ever won the Open and the Masters. That's all he ever won.
No.
I mean, that's all. That's the way I sound.
Right.
That good, isn't it?
It's not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I knew we could do that. I know we don't do it that way hard. But he was just.
How many of them? So the guys that won it were Jack Nicklaus,
Tiger Woods, Gary Player, and then back to Ben Hogan and Gene Sarazen.
Nicklaus as well, wasn't it?
Nicklaus was the first one that we said. So so Arnold didn't even do that.
No, he did not. No. Because that's why
Yeah.
I
don't think Palmer ever won the US PGA.
I had to look it up a few times because I was dubious myself about it, so I checked double crossed a few sites, and they had the 5. They had the.
I always think it's a little bit. I wouldn't say it's unfair, but I think Saracen, when he won the PGA, because you're going back before the Second World War now. Saracen would have won that when it was match play, I think.
Oh.
I mean, obviously he still won it. He's got his name on the trophy, but I think it was match play when he won it.
The Masters.
No, the PGA, the US PGA.
All right. Oh, I see.
That was a match play event at one time.
I happen to like that. I noticed in the Olympics they've increased an extra golf event for the next Olympics, in that you'll have a men's and a women's and a mixed one. A mixed golf tournament as well, as well. So we'll see how that will pan out. There's another boxer, sadly, died over the weekend in Ghana, the boxing match in Ghana. It was a Nigerian boxer, the light heavyweight. He collapsed in round 3 and died. Really, it's just sad. That's all it is. I see that Deontay Wilder, who I recommended myself, if I met him, that he should retire before he get any more brain damage. Deontay Wilder is going fighting again in June in the United States, and he's fighting Herndon. Herndon, he's ranked. I know he's ranked. He's not a very rated boxer, but he's fighting him again. I think he has too many fights taken. I mean, he got a.
There's a great documentary on BBC iPlayer about Johnny Owen.
Oh, John Owen, yeah, Johnny Owen from Wales.
Yeah, that when he died, well, he didn't die in the ring, but he kind of, I guess he did, but he didn't die in the ring as such. He died in the hospital afterwards.
He did, yeah.
But it's
Is
a
that,
really good documentary.
Yeah, I must look that up now, I must look that up. I mean, there have been some terrific boxers from Wales, from the Valleys. I saw Deontay Wilder's fighting again. I don't know, obviously it's for money because he's not going to get a shot at the title anymore. He's not good enough to win it again, despite the fact that the heavyweights are around now and up to much, but we'll see. Katie Taylor is fighting again in June. She'll be fighting Serrano for the third time. I wonder, is it a fight too far? I had hoped that Anna might be here tonight. I wonder, is it a fight too far for her? You know the way boxers take just that one too many, like Muhammad Ali took against Larry Holmes. Remember that? That fight with Muhammad Ali took that fight against Larry Holmes, and he got Larry Holmes was calling over the ref to stop it.
Yeah.
He had such respect for Ali. I think that wonder is Katie Taylor after taking that is one too many for her.
I wondered about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the last two fights she's had were pretty tough fights.
They were tough, they were close, and they were bloody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she doesn't have a knockout punch, which is one of the, when you have that many fights, you need a knockout punch to get your opponent out of there early in the fight, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see it, But we've never seen her boxing in Ireland now. We won't now because I reckon she'll retire after this one, all right, That's Katie Taylor. And, Donovan has, and Crocker has been ordered a rematch at Boxing Match a couple of weeks ago when he was disqualified in his fight in Belfast, and Eddie Lee is the trainer of Donovan, and they've been ordered as a rematch, so we look forward to that. I don't know where it's going to be.
Oh, wow.
So
who decides that there's going to be a rematch then? The governing body of it?
The governing body decided because they won't blame the referee for making a bad decision,
Right.
Because that would mean he'd never again get a fight, If he was actually blamed to be like taking away your livelihood,
Right.
In a way. So even though if he didn't hear the bell, now if he did hear the bell, he should have stopped the fight because your man was being knocked out. But then he said Donovan threw the punch that knocked him out after the bell, That's why he disqualified him. But if he didn't hear the bell, how did he expect Donovan to hear the bell?
And that would be that'd be a very fair.
Anyway, so I think that there was anyway, we'll see in the rematch who's who,
Yeah.
And I think he penalised Donovan very unfairly through the fight for low blows and head, but they were both going in with their heads like.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit like the Katie Taylor stuff. The guy from the other corner was calling for her headbutting all the time.
Yeah.
But she's, but you have a right-handed boxer fighting a left-handed boxer, so they're both in the same. When they go in, they're both in the same situation, right?
There's going to be collisions,
So it just seems, but for the referee not to hear the bell and then to expect two fighters that have been beating the bejesus out of each other for 12 rounds.
And the adrenaline rush and all, you don't hear anything.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. How could he expect the fighters to hear it when he couldn't hear it? And with all the racket that was going on as well, in the crowd. Probably the noise must have been deafening in itself.
It was the last fight of the card, so the beer levels would be high as well. You know, they'd be immune to noise as well. You know, because you don't notice these things. But so it's good that Paddy Donovan is getting another go anyway at it. So.
So where's the Katie Taylor fight going to be? Is that going to be?
Oh, in the Madison Square Garden.
It's going to be in the Gardens.
Yeah.
It's a pity she couldn't fight at home again.
Well, I mean, it's a mixture of the promoters. Firstly, there'd be guarantees wanted, and I can understand it. Financial guarantees had to be put up up front for it to be a successful promotion, whatever that means, I don't know. Secondly, then, the promoters on either side, certainly on Katie's side, didn't want to be putting up all the money, you know, or most of the money. So there was Croke Park, which is the biggest one in the country, the biggest venue. Were happy to have the fight in it, and whatever, but they wanted government backing up to a certain amount for the fight if we had to go ahead and Croke Park in Ireland. They wanted the government to guarantee some of the cash, you know, and the government wouldn't agree to that. That was one part of it, you know.
Yeah.
There were other bits and pieces as well. So I don't think she'd fill Croke Park. I don't think she'd get 80,000 people to see the fight, Joe.
That would be a hard ask, I think.
I mean, Muhammad Ali fought there in 1972, which was a different time anyway, you know. He fought Al Blue Loose. It was a glorified exhibition match, you know.
Who did he fight in that one?
Al Blue Loose. I was at that, and he was... Al Blue Loose is a fine physical boxer, you know. He was physically as big as him, but he wasn't a top-class heavyweight. It was a glorified exhibition. Well, I felt it was anyway, you know. But Ali was such... To see him in the flesh, like, was just a sight to behold. He was such a magnificent athlete, you know, himself, you know.
Yeah.
And just so good, you know. He could have knocked him out after a minute if he wanted, you know. But, looking back at it now, but at the time, the excitement of seeing him was just enough to be there, you know.
Right.
And it just, he was something else, you know. They don't make him like that, and of course, Foreman, Ali, and Fraser, the triumvirate, they're all gone now.
Yeah.
And they're all gone to their eternal reward, hopefully. And that era the book is closed on it now. And I don't know, with the state of boxing, I think I enjoy amateur boxing now better than professional boxing. Because I always have the thing in the back of my head, is this for real now, or is there something else going on in the background? You know, you always have this uneasy feeling now about professional heavyweight boxing anyway, you know. And I don't know myself. There's not anything left now, you know, as an attraction, you know. There's nobody now you wouldn't get millions of people getting out of their beds at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning to watch a fight.
Right.
Like when Ali was on, there was no question. Everyone was up watching it, you know. No question, very well. And what time zone you were in, you know. You had to see it live, you know. And I don't know myself. I suppose like everything else in life changes, priorities changes, people are into different things, and that's it, you know. And we wish Fairview Rangers anyway all the best in the cup. I mean, I don't know who they're playing. I think it's North End, you know, but I'm not too sure of that. From Wexford, I'm not too sure of that. They're very good, very, very good team. They beat Pike Rovers in the final 3 or 4 years ago, you know, and they're a good physical. They're strong, but they can play soccer as well. If you know what I mean. Yeah. They can play soccer as well, you know. But they can play whatever way you want, as the man said, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want an Abbey Styles game? We can do that too.
Yeah.
You want a George Best game? We can do that. You know, something like that. But we'll see anyway. But I hope Anna's okay anyway, and she should be back next week with a bit of luck. Derwynne, I think his signal, I think his signal has crashed the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So where will the final be played? Do we know?
Well, when North End and Pipe Rovers got into the final, just played in Lansdowne Road. You know, and I think I know a few of the FAI Junior Cup finals are played in Cork as well. You know, but if there's a Wexford and Limerick team, they might have it somewhere in Munster. You know, because Wexford is just down the road. It's not, you know, well, it depends. I don't know who's in the final now, but I'm saying if it's North End was in the final with obviously if it's a Dublin team, I can't see Fairview get it down in Munster, you know, which is they've already travelled to Dublin, as we said, for the semi-final,
Right.
know? And I don't know, maybe they might get it. They might bring it to Cork. They might bring it to the Markets Field. You know, I don't know. Would they see that as a home venue for Fairview Rangers?
Yeah, but there wouldn't even be enough people that you'd be able to get into it to make it worthwhile. Do you know what I mean? What does Marcus Field hold? 5,000 at the most?
Had to be more, Joe.
Would it be more?
Or to be 15.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Or toward, yeah, just looking at the physical of it, like, yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure of that now. Not sure what the capacity is, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think with their history in the competition, Fairview Rangers, you'd think they'd have an influence over where it could be held. I'm just looking up what the capacity is of the Marcus Field. But God, Joe, I'll tell you, you know more than me. The capacity of the Marcus Field is 4,500.
4.5.
4,500. There'd be a lot more interest in the Junior Cup than that, and
Oh yeah.
they have 1,700 seats.
Yeah.
So, God, it's smaller than I thought.
Yeah. It's I mean I remember just from my time when it was mostly standing there anyway.
Yeah.
And the big matches that Limerick used to play. When Waterford, the Rovers would come to town, or Hibs when they were going well, and the crowd, you know, and it was all standing back in those days. So mainly, I think, the capacity wasn't that great. I mean, everybody was on the main stand side of it mostly. Over by the wall, by where the shoe factory used to be, and what have you, and the the hospital that used to be over there.
That's right.
I mean, that was a very, you know, narrow area over there, so it didn't hold that many people. But it was a good spot if you could get on the wall over there. It was a good spot to watch the match from. I
hope you're all listening to these tips now, lads. They're just tips we're giving you. We're not telling you what to do, but so tomorrow night the Premiership is back on. You know, how difficult now is it if you're the Arsenal manager? They're playing tomorrow night. They're playing Fulham at home, and they have nothing to play for.
Fulham had nothing to play for.
No, but Arsenal haven't. The league is won.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a game that, like you said, I think he's got some players coming back, so he's getting a chance to get fellas some minutes under their belt before the Champions League comes around again. When's the next round of the Champions League? Is it
It's next month, the middle of next month. Isn't it?
Yeah.
The middle of next month.
So I mean, obviously,
Well, yeah.
he's going to go after that now.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
the only thing left.
yeah,
And we know that Man United, what Derwynne was saying about Man United, they're playing tomorrow night as well. They're playing Nottingham Forest away,
yeah.
Man United, and well, they have a lot more to play for than Forest have, I mean,
Well, Forest is still playing for the Champions League. I mean,
they are, and
they're in the top four.
of course, there's the money side of it too, the cash side of where you finish in the Premiership. It depends
Right.
how much money you get. So there's that kind of thinking as well. I see Marcus Rashford scored 2 goals
Yes,
for
he
Villa.
did. Yeah,
One was a penalty, but he still had to score, as they say. Doesn't matter what it is, So he seems to be a lot more. I see him. He's playing. He's happier there. He looks happier playing. That's a stupid thing to say, but he looks a lot happier together playing.
yeah. I mean, sometimes the guy just needs a change of scenery.
I think so. Yeah. I think.
It's good for him. And
Yeah.
like we said before, I mean, Villa are a huge club, and
Yeah.
they've got fantastic support. So, and their supporters, it seems like, have really taken to Rashford.
And I mean, can you imagine if they won the European Cup?
Oh yeah. Well, they've won it once before, so why wouldn't they be able to do it again? And Emery knows how to win European championships. I mean, he's won enough.
Well, they have a good manager, yeah.
Yeah, he won the Europa League 4 or 5 times. Was it Valencia he won it with?
Valencia, yeah, Valencia won it a few times, yeah.
Yeah. So, he knows how to handle Europe from that standpoint. So it'll be, I think, it'll be very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how he strengthens that squad.
Well, they have a decent squad.
They do, but I don't think they have one that's good enough to win the league at the moment. I don't think they have enough depth in it. But with the signing of Rashford and the guy they got from PSG.
Yeah, I think Rashford was a very good signing for them.
Yeah, they're both very good signings.
Yeah. Yes.
Both class players. So it'll be interesting to see. I think defensively is going to be where they probably need to strengthen a little bit, and just hanging on to, the guys that they've got, because
that's a big problem, Joe, for teams that are another step to go up.
Right.
As you rightly said there, holding on to players who are valuable assets to them,
right.
And competing with the other clubs. I mean, if you think of soccer in the long term, you get very depressed sometimes. Not depressed now, that's too strong a word, but I look over the European competitions and you have the same clubs year in, year out. The exact same clubs. And they're getting richer and richer out of the competition because they're on top all the time. You have Bayern Munich in Germany, you have Barcelona and Real Madrid, you have Manchester City here and Liverpool, and you have a few more scattered. The odd time you might have Ajax coming into the picture, or
right.
someone like that. But by and large, you have the French PSG who are making strides. But next year, the European Cup will pan out more or less the same way.
I think so. I mean, it's like you said, the rich are getting richer,
And I think there's an inevitability about soccer if people aren't careful that you'll have a competition sooner than we think, with the elite clubs like Real Madrid, like Man City, like Liverpool, like Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan, PSG, playing against each other,
Yeah, I mean,
mainly for money.
well, and that's the thing with it, So what's it? But the big problem that they have with that, and I suppose it could be surmounted, but they won't have enough games.
Well, I saw, I think, an article, I don't know, was it in the Telegraph, the Sunday, what's the other Sunday Express, one of the English papers, about speculation that Saudi Arabia wants two teams to be entered into the European Cup.
Right.
Now, whatever about the standard, they have the cash.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have the cash, but when you're talking about, that what you've got going, if you're going to put the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Man United, if you care to throw them in, and then how do the Aston Villas and the other guys, the Nottingham Forest, get into this? Although Nottingham Forest have won the European Cup twice,
Yeah.
So then you get the Italian teams in. You get AC Milan, Inter Milan,
Juventus.
Well, do Juventus deserve to be in it when they're halfway down the table?
Yeah.
Atalanta have been more successful than
They have,
than them recently. So, and then you've got what's his name? That was at the manager at Tottenham. God, I can see his face before me, but he's got Napoli flying at the minute. So, and they're a team with a bit of a tradition. So
the Serie A table of Inter Milan at top at 67 points, Napoli 64, Atalanta 58, Bologna 56, and then Juventus 55.
Yeah.
So after 30 games.
Yeah. So then you look at Germany, and Germany in the past. I mean, we've seen, like you were talking about earlier, with Cork Hibs playing Mönchengladbach. And Mönchengladbach were in the finals pretty often back in Germany.
They're on their way again, building. They're on their way up the table.
Yeah.
And I like to see it. I like to see it.
Yeah, and then you had Dortmund that have won it before. You had Bayern Munich, obviously, but Bayern Munich till the 70s weren't even really a successful German team.
No, so didn't your man play? Didn't Hamburg win it?
Hamburg were in the final.
Your man Kevin Keegan played with them.
Keegan was there, and Nottingham Forest beat him in the final.
Did they? Hamburg were big dogs then,
Yeah. Eintracht Frankfurt played Real Madrid in
that's right.
Park.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of names out there that are missing. You had Red Star Belgrade won it one time, but
they did.
They don't. I don't even know if they're still existing as a club. So it's
a lot of those clubs, as we euphemistically calling them, from the Ireland Corking countries, were populated by mainly military personnel.
Yeah. And then you had, back in the day, you had Panathinaikos that were in the final when Puskis was the coach there.
He was.
So, and of course you had the Belgian teams that were
you had a few Russian teams who were strong as well.
Yes, you did.
CSK
Moscow. Yeah.
I remember them.
Yeah.
They were, they've gone back a bit now. Russia gone back a bit in the soccer,
Right. So it's I mean, how do you replace 38 games in the Premier League for the likes of Liverpool and Man City and those guys, and make it worthwhile for
I think
for them to make the money?
There's one word for it, is money. And if the Saudi Arabian if the league from Saudi Arabia gets involved, they have deep pockets. You know, you saw
Yeah.
that there's a World Cup being planned for Saudi Arabia.
Right.
There's an Olympic Games in the pipeline, you know. And if you saw the development, they're building a whole new city from scratch in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think of the concept, like in the desert. There's no water or nothing there. They're building a city as we speak. It's called, I know what it's called now, I saw a documentary on it, you know. So if it comes off, it'll be a wonder of the world, you know, if it comes off, you know. But anyway, so this is another edition of Sports View. You'll find all the programs, all the shows on Sports View on our YouTube channel, theirmedia.tv is our YouTube channel, and press the red button right to subscribe to our channel to be very much appreciated. We've reached the end, and don't forget tomorrow is Fool's Day, lads, but don't be fooled, it's just Fool's Day. And so if you get a few phone calls, you know, you don't have to answer them, you know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly. Yeah.
so from Derwynne, from Joe, and from myself, lads, have a good week and good sporting week, Joe, and take care, lads, and until we meet again next Monday. Take care.
Take care, Pat. Take care, Derwynne. Bye.